You've seen it happening all over. Office spaces transforming into living spaces. And this week, a new project downtown could add even more homes as Columbus looks to bring more people to the heart of the city. Plus, the president of the Federal Reserve stopping by the Ohio State University and checking out workforce training firsthand.
They blow you away in terms of what they're doing. The skills that they're developing, this automotive challenge that they're undergoing right now, it's really impressive.
This week, why innovation on campus could influence decisions in Washington. And Columbus may be landlocked, but this week, the capital city is diving into the shipbuilding industry.
It really showcases the world, basically our partnership of how we want to go redefine defense shipbuilding and how we want to go help accelerate and build this new era of producing ships at a pace we've never done before.
Sounds pretty cool. See how a local AI company is teaming up with America's largest shipbuilder to speed up production, train the next generation of the workforce, and power the U.S. Navy. Central Ohio, it is booming. We all see it and we all can feel it. So here's what we uncovered this week in Boomtown. The restaurant biz in Central Ohio is getting bigger by the day. Lasante Columbus is about a week away from opening in Franklinton. The modern Italian steakhouse represents the first expansion for a Cincinnati-based hospitality group. Owners say they picked the location because it reminds them of where they started, a neighborhood with energy, history, and room to grow.
Where we're going to be in Columbus, it's very close to the Columbus Crew. It's in walking distance, not in downtown, so we're a little bit removed from that kind of hustle and bustle, which we wanted. We wanted to get the locals. We wanted to get people to want to come in and have their after work drink and just hang out with us, have a good meal, plenty of parking.
Sounds pretty tasty. That's just one example of the momentum happening downtown. Thanks so much for joining us for This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. We do have much more on the growth transforming the heart of Columbus. But first, let's get to some headlines from this week. Take a look at this map. It shows you where a hotel will not go near Morse and Hamilton roads. Gahanna's Planning Commission rejected a proposal to rezone this property, which is in a neighborhood. It was supposed to be a comfort inn, but city leaders say the hotel just didn't fit with the surrounding area. Well, the fast food boom is getting a little frosty this week for Wendy's, one of Central Ohio's most recognizable brands, announcing as many as 350 locations could shut down nationwide. Wendy's says this is part of a turnaround to refocus on value. While the company is headquartered in Dublin, the first ever Wendy's was in downtown Columbus, right there on East Broad Street. Over to Westerville, Goodwill Columbus is growing in a big way. In March, the nonprofit plans to open its largest store in 85 years. This is 13,000 square feet. It is the first Goodwill Columbus location in Westerville, taking over the former Big Lots on East Schrock Road. The CEO says picking this area is all about meeting people where they are.
We like to have our facilities clearly where there's population growth, and in Central Ohio, that's just about everywhere. But yes, we also want to strategically locate where there's community needs, and that's why when we talk about our job training centers, our mothership job training center is on the east side off Bryce Road. We have one in Grove City. We have one downtown here where our administrative offices are, and then in Clintonville. So yes, we're very thoughtful about where we put our services, and we want to be close to the folks we serve.
And in Columbus, we are learning now about another plan to create a new linear park, helping connect more people as the city grows. So as we reported before, the Linden Green Line will be the first linear park for the capital city, running from South Linden to Cooper Park on the north side of town. Well, this week we learned that a second linear park has now been approved by City Council. So take a look at this map. You'll find that second linear park running right along some abandoned rail corridor lines, much like the Linden Green Line. But this one is 3 miles going from East Broad Street south to I-70. It's called the Eastmore Rail Trail, and Columbus Recreation and Parks shared these photos with 10 TV. City officials say more than 17,000 people live within just a few minutes of this planned trail. Construction set to begin in 2027 and will take about 2 years. Well, turning downtown Columbus from a business district into a true neighborhood. That's a big focus for the city right now. Data from the Columbus Department of Development shows more than 92,000 people go downtown every day. But far fewer people actually live there, only about 12,500. That is something the nonprofit Downtown Columbus Inc. wants to change. Their goal is to have 40,000 people living in downtown Columbus by the year 2040. Now, to reach that goal, people say downtown has to feel like a neighborhood. Downtown Columbus Inc. asked about 2,000 residents and businesses what they want to see. Here's what they found.
The community said they really wanted us to double down on our residential amenities and to really create the place where people want to live. And think about it, if it's a place that you want to live, it's a place that you want to work too. And the nice part is we've already been investing in those wonderful recreational features like the Columbus Commons, Scioto Mile, Dorian Green, those beautiful green spaces, and we've been programming them. Public spaces are part of what we all share. It's like making investment in parkland, green space, first floor amenities, and things like sports courts like pickleball. All those together are what create the downtown that we all want.
You gotta have pickleball, right? Well, a study that came out just 8 months ago made it very clear. If Columbus wants more people downtown, it does need more housing, and it needs to be bigger and more affordable. So the city is now getting creative. This week, we learned an office building owned by Nationwide could soon become apartments. As 10 TV's Kevin Landers shows us, it's all part of a growing trend.
Repurposing office buildings into residential spaces is not new for downtown Columbus. This building at 280 North High could be the latest to join the trend. The lobby of the Continental Building may still look and operate like an office building, but it's home to Nathan Shrimp.
The walls are actually pretty solid. There's not a lot of you don't hear the people next to you. I guess now you wouldn't really notice it was an office building.
The building on East Gay Street, along with the Preston Center on East Broad, are the most recent entrants into the office-turned-residential building projects. This artist rendering of 280 North High Street hopes to become the latest living space for those who want to live downtown. Nationwide plans for 11 of the 18 floors to have 1- and 3-bedroom apartments, with the rest left for office space. For those like Nathan Shrimp, who now call a converted office building home, he says the building functions just like an apartment building.
They have a gym downstairs, a bike facility, pool on the roof.
Since the building opened in October, the leasing office tells us it's at 17% occupancy.
Price was good here. I'm in a studio apartment here, so the price was very good and the amenities worked well.
Rents range from $1,050 to $3,000. The Preston Center on East Broad Street opened 2 winters ago, and since its conversion, occupancy is 60%. Rents range from $1,900 to $8,000. As for Nationwide Realty's plans to convert this building, it says it's not commenting now, while the plans are under review by the Downtown Commission. Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
We'll certainly keep you posted. We wanted to know if we'll see more of this office space conversion trend going into 2026. So we reached out to Skip Weiler with the local commercial real estate firm, the Robert Weiler Company. Skip tells 10 TV that these conversions are a real challenge for developers, but there is hope as we dive into the new year.
There are definitely hurdles and difficulties to make it happen. A lot of the office buildings don't have the proper layout, like the floor plate's too deep, and so you can't have apartments that are 100 feet deep because the windows, you only have windows on the outside, and so and then a lot of the stacks don't line up, and so you can't. You have to run new plumbing lines for the bathrooms and the kitchens and the shower and the showers and everything. And if they don't line up, it's like, well, how are you going to do that? Are you going to drill all new through all the floors? And so that makes it very difficult. The higher interest rates and the higher costs have made things difficult for new downtown development. And it's difficult to convert office buildings into a multifamily, but the higher the rents go, the more easier that makes it. And the lower the values of the office building go, the more easier that makes it. And so That's why you're starting to see some of those buildings being converted and more housing options, which only creates the vibrancy and creates more success for downtown.
Now to jobs. The president of the Federal Reserve of Cleveland recently spent a day at Ohio State, seeing firsthand how students are preparing for today's workforce. 10 TV's Tracy Townsend spoke with her about how those lessons learned at OSU could shape decisions back in Washington.
I think a lot of people will say, wait, the Fed president was at OSU and the Automotive Research Center. Tell us why this was important for you to come here.
Well, it's critically important. One of the things that we look at the Federal Reserve is understanding how the workforce is developing, trying to stay abreast of what are opportunities, what are partnerships, what are new ways that individuals are finding their way into the workforce. At the Federal Reserve, we have two parts of our mandate. We call it the dual mandate. It's maximum employment and price stability. So understanding that employment side of the mandate, how are individuals getting the training, getting the skills that they need so that they can become productive members of society, is really half of what we need to focus on. So places like OSU, which has tremendous innovation and is a tremendous gift to the state of Ohio, is really an important place for us to see how those trends are shifting.
And how impressed were you with the young people that you talked? I mean, they're ready for work.
They blow you away in terms of what they're doing. The skills that they're developing, this automotive challenge that they're undergoing right now, it's really impressive because they're working on not just the design phase, but the project management phase. And when I talk to employers on the other side of it, we hear that some of the skills they're looking for are, yes, they want the technical, they want that expertise, but they also want to know that people know how to work in a collaborative environment. Teamwork is increasingly important in today's society. And it seems like this type of project is giving them that exposure.
Indeed. So what will you do with this information in terms of your work in Washington? Because we know that your role there is integral too.
Yes. So I take all the information that I get when I'm out touring the district, whether it's today's visit to OSU, understanding what's going on at Carr, or the meetings I had with businesses yesterday. We sat down with a financial services company. We sat down with a energy distribution company, a retail manufacturer. I try to get a sense from them about how are they seeing the economy? What are they experiencing? Are they hiring workers? Are they firing workers? Are their input costs going up? Are they stabilizing? How much of that are they going to pass on to consumers? All of that helps me to enrich the official data that we get with those anecdotes. And so that when I go to Washington, D.C. to represent our district, which is all of Ohio, parts of Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and West Virginia, that I can accurately depict what's happening.
Very interesting. Tracy, thank you. All right, no coastline, no problem. A Columbus company is making waves this week, teaming up with America's largest shipbuilder, Huntington Ingalls Industry. And just look at this video here. Warships and submarines being built for the U.S. Navy. We're talking more than 500 miles away in Newport News, Virginia. But this week in Boomtown, we are learning more about how a Columbus company, Path Robotics, is applying AI to help meet the Navy's growing shipbuilding needs. Look at how massive that really is, while at the same time bridging the workforce shortage gap. So take a look here. It is called Obsidian, and Pathway Robotics CEO Andrew Lonsberry says this is the first AI system designed specifically for welding. The two companies say this technology here will speed up the shipbuilding process and give the next generation of workers hands-on experience with the latest in automation.
There's a large skilled labor shortage, and it's continuously growing, whereas the need and additional production is also growing. So you have both problems, a decreasing workforce and an increasing need and capacity. That void is continuously growing right now, and it's accelerating faster than ever. And especially in defense, we're seeing this become a larger and larger problem. Today, traditional robots just cannot do the job that we need them to do. They're really good at doing one thing 10 million times. They're not good at doing 10 million unique things one time. That's where Path steps in. That's where we focus on building physical AI for manufacturing and building our large foundation model called Obsidian to give robots the ability to see and to think so that they can take on these really high mix, really high variable, one-off unique tasks that shipbuilders, that every US manufacturer essentially needs to start hitting production and capability growth.
Boy, AI is certainly the next wave. All right, before we go, look at this. A little Central Ohio pride here. We came up big at the Dink Awards. That's right, the largest fan choice awards in pickleball. So Match Point Columbus was voted the best pickleball facility in the Midwest, a huge accomplishment for the region's growing sport. Well, as we continue to cover stories of growth here in Boomtown, let us know if you have any questions. We would love to hear from you. Just text us 614-460-3345. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. You can always drop that question right in the comment section as well. Thanks so much for watching This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. We'll see you again next week.